My name's Julie Collins. I'm a folk singer.
It's the hippest place in town, the barn door. Go out and see some really neat bands, and go see art. Tell them I sent you.
But by the time I get to Phoenix,
oh yeah, they also serve drinks and stuff.
She'll be laughing. And she'll find that note.
Because I was flunking out of college. And I took the ceramics class. The professor said, basically, you have to flunk life in order to flunk this course. I said, hey, man, I'm still alive, so I guess I'm going to pass. I started taking ceramics. Anyway, it always was really easy for me to make pottery. Easiest thing in the world. It's like, if all the decisions were as easy as the decision just to make pottery and not do anything else, life would be really easy. What do they call corporate speckleware? Because it's, looks like fun, huh? Yeah. But anyway, someone in Florida ordered a set of tableware. And had a couple different colors in it, like some aqua and dark blue. Okay. What brought me to Delaware? Early admission to the university. I didn't have to make any choices. Anyway, I received a degree in art history there. But making art and studying art history are two entirely different things, believe me. Because you're black. I say that, but it could be dark blue, or it could be brown, but because unfired glazes don't look necessarily like the color they are. Come on, commentator, let's have the questions.
Okay, talk about Louisiana.
Louisiana? Well, I have very good friends there. We built a big, large wood kiln. Actually, received a graduate degree. Master of Fine Arts and Ceramics there. And I need to get that other bowl. And I grew up on the West Coast, and I lived in Delaware, which is kind of strange in itself. And then I lived in Elkton, Maryland, and I had a pottery studio there, and so I wanted to experience another area of the country that was very unsimilar to anything that I had lived in at that point in my life. I guess I was 25. And I was thinking about going to Georgia. But Georgia is just kind of like Elkton, Maryland, really. It's just kind of like Southern people, you know. It's kind of a little bit farther south. And LSU at the time offered a really good program, and I think they still do. They offered a lot of money, so I got money to go there. Then the people another language, you know, they speak French there, at least in parts of the state. Northern Louisiana is just as redneck as their own. But the food is different. The music, of course, is different. I mean, that's when Clifton Chenier was still alive, and Zydeco was the word that was just down there, and red beans and rice. So anyway, Louisiana was quite interesting. I mean, these huge tugboats would go up and down the Mississippi River, pushing like 36 flat containers full of material upriver or downriver. There's a great blues place there called Tabby Thomas Blues Box, which is amazing. In fact, the guy started the Baton Rouge Blues Festival. It's huge now, 100,000 people go to it. Now, see, this person just wants kind of like a really loose kind of a style, just a kind of a just minimal. I mean, some people think this is more like non-minimal. That's too much already. So obviously with bowls and things instead of plates, we might as well decorate these now too. Yeah? Just get the splash square technique. So anyway, I still have very good friends in Louisiana. We fire a big wood kiln down there. I throw pot around the potter's wheel, which I did for many years. So I ship all that down there, and then we fire that where we totally fire with wood. As you can see, those are electric. And firing, part of ceramics is I think you have to really love fire. I mean, that's part of the deal. I started designing mugs, mugorama. Actually, it has to do with all my pottery. And the concept was pretty simple, really. It was to design something like a mug or a bowl or a teapot or a plate that was functional, but yet 180 degrees different than the shape might appear. In other words, kind of a cylinder is like kind of a pretty straightforward mug. I mean, all it did was lead me to the idea that I could just make these really radical shapes, you know, and I did sacrifice some functionality for them, but it put me on a different program. It made me read different materials. It made me investigate different kinds of function and form that I normally hadn't looked at. These are nice bowls now, man. Jackson Pollock visited. But most people didn't understand what Jackson Pollock was trying to do anyway. So, or Kandinsky for that matter, and some of his fall rhythms. Or James Abbott McNeill Whistler did a lot of this kind of thing too. Got sued for it too. Big lawsuit. Sued by a guy named Ruskin because it was said that what he was doing wasn't art, because it didn't have involve realism, which at the time was important. I have a lot of ideas, and unfortunately you realize that there's not enough time to possibly make all your ideas. People always ask me, how do you get your ideas? Well, that's not the problem. How do you find enough time to make all your ideas? I've never had a problem thinking of things to do, designs to make. You can sell them on many different levels. I sell them to galleries and stores, and I wholesale them to galleries and stores. And in turn resell them. I do a little bit of consignment, but not much. I consign to a place called Bountiful Baskets that sells coffee in Wilmington, and then I sell to Carucci's restaurant in Wilmington. Then I do retail shows like different craft shows where anywhere from 100 to 300 crafts, depending on the location of the show, will show up, and then anywhere from 5,000 to 400,000 people will show up, depending on the show. And Mugorama, 1-800-MUG-RAM for your shopping convenience. Does well at shows with 100,000 people or 400,000 people because The number of units is what makes it happen. I always believed in making affordable production pottery. I don't know, there are times when I feel really, really good about a design. And I might be like totally alone in my studio dancing around. And maybe that's inspiration. Or inspiration is just the ability to stick with something, I swear. You know, inspiration. I'm inspired to make this stuff. Otherwise, I don't stop.
You know, you could go to Jeremiah's and buy top-of-the-line CDs and cassettes and whatnot. But did you know you could, like, go in there with all your old stuff and trade them in for new stuff? What a concept.
I am an antichrist.
Could I have that quartz tuner for a second? This is just out.
I don't know what I want. We've got to have more power. Switch everything over. Switch everything over.